And joining us now, our Democratic strategist, Paul Begala. He's a CNN contributor, as all of our viewers know. He's also the author of a brand new book just out today called Third Term, Why George W. Bush Loves John McCain. Paul, we'll talk about the book in a moment. Let's talk about the news, though. Today, Barack Obama sitting down for lunch with your former boss, Bill Clinton. There's some criticism of Barack Obama. He's not using Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton, for that matter, enough to try to get himself elected. What do you think?
You know, Senator Obama gave President Clinton and Senator Clinton both primetime speeches in Denver. I think they used them well to boost the Obama campaign. And today, you know, I got to tell you, it's a very big thing that Senator Obama is willing to go to Harlem, go to the president's office, pay respect like that. That means a lot. You know, I'm kind of old school. And here's the new leader of my party going to the legendary leader of my party. It's kind of like, I know you're a basketball fan, when the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship, Kevin Garnett sought out Bill Russell on the floor and gave him a big hug to show his respect, and then they posed on the cover of Sports Illustrated, each with the
Because, as you know, Al Gore was criticized for not using Bill Clinton enough in 2000, and there's some suggesting it could have cost him the election. What do you think should be an appropriate role for Bill Clinton between now and November 4th?
I think you'll see the Obama campaign getting him out there, hitting the hustings. He is beloved by Democrats, but also by all of those Clinton Republicans, if you will. He used to call them soccer moms. I guess we're calling them Walmart moms now. The folks who made him the president twice were not the core Democratic votes, but swing Republicans in these swing states. I suspect you'll see a lot of Bill Clinton on the campaign trail. I bet you that's what they talk about.
Will it be a lot or just a few token appearances in order to show that they're basically okay with each other right now? Because, as you know, when his wife was running for the Democratic presidential nomination, he was out every single day, going out in West Virginia, all sorts of places, 2 or 3 events a day. I suspect we're not going to see that kind of activity.
Well, he's no longer the spouse of the candidate. He's not going to campaign as hard as Michelle Obama, of course. He's got his foundation to run, and he's returning to the life that he loves before his wife started running for office. But, yeah, I think you'll see him out an awful lot. I don't think you'll have the kind of problem that many analysts saw of 2000.
And you think they've buried the hatchet there? Are they okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, you know, Bill Clinton, really, I know this personally, okay? I generally don't talk about my private conversations. But it has bothered him no end to watch what he believes is the slow unwinding of so much of what he worked for as president occurring under Bush. He believes that will continue under McCain, and he tells his friends that. He is strongly for Barack Obama because he believes in all the things that Barack believes in. And I think he's awfully impressed with Barack's talent, too. I think you saw that today in that meeting.
All right, let's talk about the new book, Third Term, which you clearly have a point of view. You believe that if John McCain is elected president, he would effectively be a third Bush term. In our recent CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll, I don't know if you saw this, Paul, but we asked, would McCain policies be the same as Bush or different than Bush? 50% of the registered voters said they would be the same as Bush. 48% said they'd be different than Bush. You're among the 50% who think it would be the same as Bush. But they've had their problems over the years, Bush and McCain, as you know.
They have, and I actually did a little reporting. I'm not a real reporter like you, but I talked to some people who were involved in the rapprochement between McCain and Bush. And many of them told me, and I quote them in the book, one of the reasons they fought so bitterly is because they're so very alike. I do think they share the very same policy goals, just like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama do. They had their spat when they ran against each other, but, you know, 7.5 years, McCain has been there 91% of the time for Bush. That other 9% he's already flip-flopped on, right? Most importantly, the Bush economic plan, which McCain voted against, but now says he wants to make permanent. So there's just, this is not, by the way, a personal attack. It's not even an attack in the sense that if you like Bush, you'll love McCain. But if you're looking for change, you're just not going to get it out of McCain. I think the record bears that out.
The whole notion, though, that he was very critical of Rumsfeld, even Cheney, in terms of the conduct of the war in Iraq. And effectively, at least White House officials, you heard Ari Fleischer say it last night on Larry King Live, the White House aides saw McCain as a real thorn in the side of the president.
Yeah, you know, a lot of that is myth. And I cite it in the book, and there are over 800 footnotes, so people can go look it up for themselves. I had a dozen researchers work on this, so it's not just my opinions, it's the reality. Again and again, when you go back to the real clips, and we can do this, John McCain said that Rumsfeld was doing a good job, that he was a good man. McCain refused to call for Rumsfeld's resignation, even though most Democrats and even many Republicans were doing it. So the myth that somehow McCain was a thorn in Bush's side is just not true. He was actually Bush on steroids where the war was concerned.
Why do you think so many Americans see McCain very differently than they see Bush? Because if they saw it like you did, there would be no contest this time, given President Bush's unpopularity and also the fact that 80% of the American people think the country is moving in the wrong track right now as opposed to the right track.
Well, I think the McCain persona has three elements. One part very real, which is war hero, absolutely real. The more research you do, the more admiring you become of this man's service and suffering and sacrifice. But the other two parts, maverick and reformer, are just myth. It's a well-cultivated, well-perpetuated myth, but it's a myth nonetheless. If you actually look at the issues, whether it's the economy, healthcare, taxes, trade, immigration, foreign policy, he's exactly the same as Bush. Now, again, if you liked Bush, if you're part of the 27 or 30% who liked Bush, you'll love McCain. But, you know, if you want change, you're just not going to get it from him.
The book is entitled Third Term, Why George W. Bush Loves John McCain. The author, Paul Begala. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.